Thank you again for joining us today for this new Sigfox Explore webinar session. As you know, we did already a few IoT platform session, and of course, we wanted to do one with IoFrog. So thank you so much, David, for joining us today for this presentation. Before I give you the mic, just a reminder for everyone, you have a chat box into the tool where you can put all your questions during the presentation. So they're going to be around 30-35 minutes. Then we're going to have a demo of the platform with David. And after, we will be able to tackle all your questions together. So don't hesitate to pause them during the presentation. And of course, I would be more than happy to read them at the end. So thank you everyone for joining us for this new session. And David, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome at this webinar. The topic is IoT platform, and the subject is forget about the tech and focus on the business. My name is David Zencak. I'm from based in Czech Republic, and well, I jumped in IoT business 3 years ago, almost exactly, and started the company 2.5 years ago. So what you are going to be listening is based on my personal experience being in this business for last few years. It's still fresh, so please be critical. I mean, everybody is just starting. We are still learning, and still small. So let's jump to the first slide. When start thinking about if you want to join the IoT business, obviously the first question should be like, is IoT mature enough to seriously support the business, and what is the timing, right? Is it like too early or too late? Now I offer just my personal view. There might be different views. Somebody may argue against that. So just again, don't worry to be critical. If you look at a standard Gartner hype curve and just think a little bit, where are we now? I didn't have a chance to attend the conference, Sigfox conference in Prague, 2017, but that was just the time that the hype was starting. From people that attended the conference, I heard that everybody was excited, but at that time there were few device manufacturers, and if there was something to show, there was just prototypes, no real products, no real solution at that time, and it's not a long time ago. Then I have personally attended Sigfox conference in Berlin 2018. At that time, everybody had a feeling that this is a big thing to go. Most of the people that were presenting something, either platforms or devices or some other services, they already showed some real products, but still most of them were just prototypes. And I believe that at the time we were somewhere at a peak of the expectations in IoT. Then, well, last year, Singapore, 2019, we had our own booth at that conference, and to be very honest, we didn't meet some people that we met in Berlin because they are not already in a business, because the bubble just was too big. Everybody tried, and not everybody will survive. And we understand that doing IoT business is still more like a marathon than a sprint. So that was interesting perspective to look at the market. And now last months we see the big customers like DHL and Michelin are starting with IoT, which I strongly believe that it's a very good momentum that you may consider jumping into this into IoT business as well, because the big players are already there. From your perspective, I always suggest to think about your use case in your country, because the conditions could be very different in your area. Like today and yesterday, I had a talk with a guy from Malawi, from Africa, and they're just starting. They don't have any coverage yet. They're looking how to build the first BTS stations. So their position is obviously totally different from the position that we have here in Czech Republic or in France, obviously, and many other European countries. So it's good definitely to watch the situation, how it's being developed in your country. Something that, because this is more about business than about techie topics, I will stress many times here that first you should start thinking about the business, because IoT thinks many people still, they see device and they are excited with the device and thinking like what is possible to do with that. But there were the times where early adopters jumped into that, and then when they started seriously how they can use this device in a business, this is a standard process like you probably know in other IT areas, including ERP, CRM, other custom solutions. So even if you feel excited with new devices, with new technology, I strongly suggest you go back to the basics and think about the business. And this is what my presentation will be about from IT perspective, from platform perspective. So yeah, for your case, definitely you should check the connectivity coverage in your country. Also, be careful with a signal strength, if it's outdoor, indoor, deep indoor, because some use cases really require deep indoor, and the situation may be totally different than outside. So just be careful with that. Check if there are available devices for your radio zone, especially if you are in some zones that are not so they are new, like Russia, for example, the newest RC zone. The devices might not be available yet for your zone. So please check that. And of course, scan the market for the partners and device manufacturers that are in your area. Even that you can do business internationally, it's advisable to have some partners in your country, in your city, that you can rely if something goes wrong. Because it may be a bit more difficult to fix the issue if you are in Czech Republic and your partner in Australia, for example. So my overall view on the IoT market today is that technology is here and it's ready. If you go to partner.sigfox.com, you will see there are hundreds manufacturers, dozens of platforms. So the ecosystem is here. It's working. The competition is being stronger and stronger. The connectivity coverage, yes, that's true. It differs country by country, so it really depends. But more or less, I believe that the technology is here, and now we should really start thinking about the business. One tip from this slide you can use later. Our friends from Simple Hardware, popular device manufacturer, they created a use case wizard that you can go through, and it will navigate you like step by step how to think about the use case that you may think of. So it's not just about device, right? So let's move a little bit from the stage that we are really excited that we have one device and we play with, I call it gadget, to deliver business benefits. All right. So let's first think about what are the cost items that you should consider if you want to build any IoT solution. Obviously, there is a connectivity. It's not expensive from Sigfox. It's it's good. I believe it's good. The pricing is good, but it will be significant part of the cost. Connectivity depends on number of messages and some bonus services that are on top of the standard subscriptions, like if you need to use Atlas Wi-Fi, for example. This is something extra. Obviously, devices are important, and it will be a big part, the big part of your budget. Then it comes to technical solution design and development, because yes, for in Sigfox platform you have just 12 bytes. And from today's perspective, it looks nothing, but there are some devices that can compress hundreds of messages, literally hundreds of messages, and hundreds of different modes and settings into just very small number of bytes. Some devices are super simple. And parsing is just one day, no issue. But for parsing some devices, you will need weeks or maybe 1 month to properly design the parsing of all of messages. And then it comes to some data visualization. Then it's not just about visualization, but also some access management, security, integration to backend systems for bigger solutions, connectivity management, because the connectivity expires, you need to extend it, you have to get some monitoring, what is working, what is not working, when the connectivity expires, etc. So this is a technical solution. I will talk about it later a little bit as well. Then business impacts. So again, it's not about IT. If you start using IoT IoT possibilities into the business, it will have some business impacts that you should think about at the beginning, not at the end. So some processes will be impacted, some guidelines, some new roles may be required to properly implement a full IoT solution and to really provide benefits to the business. And then some device administration. If you think about devices, I really suggest to think about standard asset management process, because it's a new asset that you will introduce to your clients, to your customers. So this includes replacements of malfunctioning devices. Yes, it happens. You have to think about battery replacements. Even if I say like battery replacement, somebody can imagine that you have one device or 10 devices. So you just go there, open the package, and some devices are difficult to open. Then you change the batteries. But what if you are, for example, gas grid company or water grid company, and you have thousands of devices? They are monitoring the status of the pipeline grid. Then just changing the batteries may be like super expensive, and it should be definitely handled in your business case and count the costs related to just battery replacement. Some devices require sensor calibrations, some not, but again, same as with the batteries. If you have a 1,000 sensors somewhere around the country, and maybe in the locations that is just difficult to approach, because it's again part of the grid, for example, there are private objects, you need to get an access to the object, etc. So even at the beginning, it sounds like super simple, like what's difficult to do some sensor calibration. But if you have thousands of devices, again, it may be some significant cost. Same with on-site installations, and this you may come up with other components, but I believe that these are the major components that you should consider when you start thinking about doing a project with IoT things. When we look at it from timeline, from dynamic perspective, I suggest with IoT, because it's still pretty new, I suggest to start slowly, think big, so have a good vision. What's the target solution? Then go step by step and be just realistic. Get the feedback as often as possible, because you will not find many people that have long-term experience with IoT. So if you build a new team that is just new in this area, and you don't have a luxury to maybe hire somebody who is in the business more than 5 years, because almost nobody in the market is in IoT more than 5 years, right? So the experience is not there. So you have to be careful and just do the risk analysis. So the steps how to go on: first, start with the business case and solution architecture. This is nothing new. This is a standard process. Like if you want to deploy a new CRM solution, new ERP solution, follow the same steps. Again, IoT for many, especially for IT people, they get excited too quickly and too easy, so they may tend to skip these proper steps. But this is why we are here, and I suggest to do it properly and do step by step, even if it takes more time, even if it's more expensive. I strongly believe that it will pay off at the end. So what it means: business case and solution architecture. Define solution requirements from broad perspective, from many areas, not just don't focus on just device, but think about connectivity, think about business processes that needs to be changed, think about integration to backend system. Just think big and start to put just try to put all the components at one table, so you see the scope in kind of big picture, and calculate your business case. I talk about cost items. Then you have revenues. Then you have some OPEX costs. You have CAPEX costs. Again, try to put everything together and be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the benefits that you may get from these devices. In the last 3 years, I've heard and talked about hundreds of different use cases, how to employ IoT devices into the business. And just 90% they failed. They failed because people were excited. They thought that, okay, they just put some device somewhere and boom, it will be working and it will provide them benefits. But it's not true. It's not true. And again, I suggest to be very honest and calculate the benefits well. Just checking the chat. So yeah, and so design the plan and try to go according to the plan, but admit yourself that things won't always go according to the plan. Then the next phase should be something that we generally call something like proof of concept. Proof of concept is not just about demo, but it should be there are more components. Like you should test the coverage, especially if you consider putting hundreds or thousands of devices in different areas. In some are outdoor, some are indoor, some are even deep indoor. It may be tricky. You may invest in small BTS stations to extend the signal, to extend the coverage. And this should be part of the expenses, obviously. So it really depends if the coverage is already 80% or if it's 90%, if it's just 50%. It may happen in your country, so please pay attention to that. Evaluate pre-selected devices. Just buy a few of them and play with them for like 1-2 weeks, so you really understand how they are working. Because again, the technology can be tricky. For one example, for monitoring of the doors, just simple thing, but it's not so simple, because you have different sensors that you may use for just monitoring of the door status. You may use magnet-based, magnetometer-based. You may use devices based on accelerometer, and all of them has different pros and cons. And this is just doors, right? So pretty manageable stuff that everybody can imagine. So yeah, do testing, and do the testing not just on the table, but in the field. As much, the test should be realistic as much as possible. Same with the platform. You will need, you can do it on your own. I will talk about it later. Or you can buy some platform on different. You can buy it and just use as a service. There are different ways how to do that. But again, pay some attention to it, evaluate it. It may be difficult to switch it later, or it may be expensive. And based on these findings, go back, sit and just evaluate again the business case, evaluate the budget, and improve the risk analysis. Always think about all the stuff that may go wrong. Just be realistic. And well, at this stage, define implementation plan and set up the team. Be careful with the people that might not have enough experience in this area, so just pay attention to that. And then there is a project phase, obviously, that most of the time you spend building your solution. But again, get a regular feedback based on the tangible results, not just on some chart, Gantt chart data, but try. That's why I still suggest to start slow. So even in the project, you should start deploying just a bunch of devices, support them, get a feedback, improve the operation procedures, update business procedures, get a feedback from business, and implement it in kind of increments. This is what I suggest. Do not try to build it in one big 10-month chunk and then believe that after 10 months everything will go right. It won't. So just go step by step. When it comes to the platforms, the major question is build or not to build. At the beginning, at the bottom, you see on the slide, you have a Sigfox cloud. It's already running. It's there, reliable, no worries. At the top, you have a business, and you buy your first device. To do parsing for first device, and if you will work with just one device, a few devices, doesn't matter. Definitely just build your own, because you will customize it in the terms as you want. You will have your own structure, your own messages. You will have it under full control. But obviously, then it goes up. So then maybe business wants to have different device. So it requires different parsing. Then maybe you have same device, but with a new firmware. And again, you have to build a support for it. So then you have versioning. And then you maybe have 100 plus devices, and you start thinking like how to manage them. So when we speak about the platform itself, then it comes to user authentication, because you have to pay attention to security. Then business have different roles. You start thinking about rights and roles, and how to really secure everything. it's still reliable. You don't this is, and at this stage it's still not a big deal. And I'm pretty sure that if you have a IT skills, if you have an IT team, you still may consider build your own solution, and you will be fine. So let's go step by step and see what might be in your scope as well. So then you start managing device metadata. You want to add some name, type, location. When you have more devices, you want to do some tagging, some device organization. You want to have an access to message history to see how it behaved, what messages were sent in last months. You want to reconfigure your devices using downlinks. Then you want to do some visualization. You can do visualization in a map using charts, some custom visualization. You want to do some statistics. So it's bigger and it's bigger. Then it comes to things like connectivity management, orders, payment, overusage monitoring, and this may be like already too big, even if you are not either IT company, if you really want to focus on a business, if you don't have ambitions to hire some, I'm not telling like a huge IT team, but some significant team to do all the stuff, to do testing, to do analyzing, deployment, checking everything. So at this stage, I would definitely consider buying some platform, either on-premise or using a service and running in the cloud, because there are even more steps. There are some integrations to backend systems. Maybe it requires API access from other systems, mobile application, mobile access, and even more that I'm not even aware now. So you can see that when we talk about IoT platform, it may be like big and it may eat lots of resources. Honestly, we are building our platform for 3 years now, and we still see like many things how we can improve it. Yes, if you have like experience from today, you have because 3 years ago there were almost no platforms, right? So we started from the scratch. Now you can compare, now you can get best of other platforms, but still I believe that do it properly will and be it will be expensive. So it really depends how many devices you are going to connect. I counted that for building the platform, you will always need, for production stage, you need at least 2 people. And if you count 2 people for 1 year using standard man-day price, it almost equal our price of providing 5,000 devices. So if you have ambition to use the platform for more than 5,000 devices, like significantly more, like 10,000 and more, consider buying your platform. If it's less, I suggest to at least consider buying other platform. I'm not saying that you have to use our platform. There are some good platforms on the market already. So just consider it if you plan to connect less than 5,000 devices. To allow our partners to jump into IoT business as quickly as possible, especially for partners that do not have big IT teams or are not IT companies itself, we offer something that we call white label solution. So let's imagine that you see the potential on your market. You think that you have enough customers to whom you can sell some nice IoT solution, but you don't have a time to build your own platform, or you don't have these ambitions, or you do not have a big team, you may consider this white label solution. We did it for several interesting companies and for several Sigfox operators already that are using our platform as a basis to showcase and to demo possibilities of IoT. What we can do is we can develop and deploy white labels solution package in literally a matter of days. So I mean, realistically, in 1 week. And after this time, you will have the platform that is running under your URL with your colors, with your logo, welcome text, maybe your own documentation. The emails will be sent from your SMTP server. We can even configure it that the payments from your clients go directly to your account first, and then we will invoice you at the end of the month for our services. So what I want to express is that there's a possibility that your clients will do not recognize that we are behind that. It will completely look like your own system, your own application. You can have your own chat window, so your support team will be behind you. You will be answering the emails. The emails will go to your support team. You may have your own news and announcements. We can structure subscription products in a way that you want. So you might have different prices, different namings of subscriptions, etc. And for the standard package, we can deliver it quite fast, and I think at very good price. And then there is an option to do some custom package for bigger customers that need more customizations. So this is just an option. One or two examples. Two examples that are benefiting from this approach, and just to share the story, how they started, and how they're doing now. One example from our partner from Croatia, the company is called Simpletech. They found a market that in their country, and maybe it may be in your countries as well, GPS tracker using the GSM signal are expensive. So they're switching the customers from GSM trackers to Sigfox trackers. No SIM cards, very good energy management, fast onboarding, and it's cheaper. So now their site is featured in popular automotive magazine in Croatia. They are doing videos for their own customers. And well, yeah, we built a white label solution within 1 week for them. We issued them coupons. So they just sell the full package. They sell device, they sell connectivity, platform access. They charge their own clients, and just provide them a coupon. So they go to their site under their URL, register their device using a coupon, and they don't have to hassle with the payments. And so it's very simple process. I'm not saying it's just rocket science, but the trick here was that they were able to start selling their services in 2 weeks from our first call that we had together, which is, I think, amazing, because it's not expensive, and it's just fast to start, especially if you do not have own ambitions to build your own platform and to focus on it. These guys, they want to focus on sales, not on IT, and I believe that this is the good direction. The second example is a company, Zencak. It's a Slovak-based security agency. They're using several different devices, mostly from simple hardware like SimplePack, Wi-Fi for checking of valuable assets. simple pack for door gate monitoring, simple leak for water leakage. They also use several in-safe origins for air quality level monitoring. The trick is that they sell the full security service, right? Because up to now, the most of security service is about okay, we will provide you a man who will guard your factory door, gate, whatever, and we will charge you. But the labor is more and more expensive now. So they try to automatize some tasks that could benefit from IoT, charge the client for the full package, and as a part of the package, maybe they mix up people that will be guarding, physical people that will be guarding the factories, the houses, nuclear plants, whatever. And they combine it together with IoT things and charge the clients and have a profit on that. So this is their way how to do that. And again, we were able to start this process in like 1 or 2 weeks. Again, so it's very efficient from both sides, from our side and from their side as well. They use their own connectivity, so our solution is not directly linked to the connectivity that we sell or resell. So because they are in different state, they have own contract with their own Sigfox operator. They benefit from local prices at their local market, and we charge them only for number of devices that are connected to the platform. Again, at very reasonable price. And there's also a possibility that they can collect the fees directly to their account from their customers using a payment gateway. At this moment, we use PayPal, which is more international. We are thinking about using Stripe and next releases to give more options to our customers, but more or less it looks sufficient up to now. So now this is the end of the presentation, and we have some time to switch to real app. So I will just quickly give you how the app look like, how the platform look like, so you might get maybe a better feeling what I was talking about. Just let me switch. By the way, if you go to docifrog.com, you might find more information about the platform. And here's the app. Yeah, the production app is in English. Hopefully you see it. And you see here that this is the basic dashboard. We try to make things really simple. Like I know that there are very good IoT platforms that offer you to develop your own scripts and to really do like many customization things. We went a little bit different way. We wanted we focus on just business perspective. And to deliver benefits with minimum development, with minimum customization needed, just to do it really fast. So we try to design dashboards in a way that you can really just plug device, register device, plug it in, and just boom, it's working without many settings you have to do. So for example, here this is my demo. This is my demo, and I have many different devices in different stage. Some of them are maybe need like here need some expiration, extension, whatever. But here, for example, you have in-safe carbon monitoring device, and from the first look, you see like what is the temperature now, what is the humidity, where is the CO2 level. Here is the gas consumption metering. That is in my house. You see a chart in last days. It's getting warmer, so it's going down, and you see how many cubic meters it is consuming. These are some testing devices. This is a pressure device. Then we can, if you have a use case that relies on a map, connection is a bit slow when I'm connected. Then here we go. Here you have devices, testing devices in the map. What is the current position? We can click on one of them and see how it was moving recently. This one is in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. We can zoom in and see, you know, how device is moving. You see the green dots. So they are from Google Google Wi-Fi, but we support different location times like GPS, Sigfox Atlas Wi-Fi, obviously, or GPS based on the payload and standard Sigfox Atlas. You can see that this device stopped here and entered some geofencing location at this time, etc. We don't have time to really go deeper now. Just, you know, to give you some quick look. If you administer more devices, there is a table view. Sorry, connection is slow. So it's loading like all devices. So you see what is the current mode, when it was last seen, what was the last message. We have them in different categories. For every device, you can go to history and see like last messages that device sent. They found some like this carbon and go to history. There might be no history here. Oh yeah. So you see some charts. See for CO2 level, air quality level, the temperature with the humidity in one chart. The platform itself is very open, so we have API access, so you can connect it to your backend system and download data somewhere else, or we can forward all messages to maybe to Azure or to Google services, Amazon services. It differs, so we are not locked in the platform. And there are different use cases, like somebody is using it for end platform, so the customers are directly using what you see now. Somebody is using it as a middleware platform, so we parse the messages and send them to different systems, for example, to some BI systems, and then the customer does BI analysis using their BI tools on top of the data that we sent to them. So like I can, you know, talk about the platform, which is more or less our kit for hours, but yeah, we don't have time for this now. So maybe we have like we have 15 minutes now. So let's switch to Q&A. So
yes, we can do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, and for the demo as well. Always good indeed to see illustration of the platform. We have indeed few questions. Don't hesitate, everyone, to continue posting them, especially if you had any question regarding the platform, you would like David to go into one or the other metrics to explain more, feel free to do that. So the first question was, what's the most common use case your clients are currently managing with IoT Frog? If you see any tendencies regarding a use case.
Nice question. I think that at this moment, the most used use case is tracing and tracking, like different things, from cars to pallets to some valuable parcels and packages. Like, for example, interesting use case that I was happy to support, that is ICAM, which is they do like bio like when you need a heart surgery or some changing of the organs. They are collecting the organs from different places and maybe from around the world. So they are using the simple devices with our platform to check the current position of the parcel, which is definitely super valuable. They also they definitely have some backup mechanism how to control it because it's about life. But we are happy to see that they also rely on simple hardware technology and on our platform to monitor the current position. People are using it from different places. We have a customer from French Polynesia who is using who is checking cars that are moving on French Polynesian islands on Papeta. So yeah, checking tracing is probably the most used use case. The other use case that is more and more appearing is monitoring. And it started with monitoring of temperatures at homes, but there is no like big business case behind that. But monitoring of in pharmacies, for example, because especially places that have to be audited, so it's required anyway. Then it's super useful uh, to use IoT devices from Sigfox because you don't have to care about batteries too much because some devices we work with last for 10 years, right? So you buy it, you place it, you do not care about SIM card, you do not care about battery, you just place it, you register ID in an app, and you are getting the temperatures, right? So monitoring of everything is more and more popular. Like one recent POC that we are working on is about, and I already mentioned it, it's about monitoring the leakages on a gas grid. And it's a fantastic use case because at this moment, in Czech Republic, there are 100,000 of like end of the pipes that are connected, that you can connect the meter, and that provides the gas to your house or to the factories. And today, based on the legislation, people have to revisit every connector from 100,000 just in Czech Republic, and Czech Republic is a small country, twice a year. And it requires a car, gasoline, people, getting permissions to enter the object, and you have 100,000 just in Czech Republic. So what we are working with them now is to utilize these metering devices for methane, CH4, to sense the leakage, and only if there is a leakage, people will go there. So I suggest to think more about like automatizing of these processes that normally require human interaction. And in such a case, you can do it automatically, and you will save labor. And this may come to very nice business case. So back to the questions: tracing and monitoring.
Yeah, it's indeed it's for sure the hot topic and use case we have right now. Actually, regarding those two, we had questions. We have actually one regarding the accuracy level, because at some point you explained that you help your customer to help their own customer actually to switch from GPS to the Sigfox geolocalization. And we have a question regarding what is the level, the accuracy level in terms of meters if you use Sigfox for tracking compared to GPS. If you have more data about that, a few examples. I have my answer too.
I'm sure you have. Okay, I will explain first. So there are different technologies that can be employed. you can use GPS using GSM transmission, but you can use GPS checkers with Sigfox. Then obviously the precision is same, because you are just changing the way how you transmit the data. And the customer I mentioned, they just found it as a total package cheaper to use a GPS checkers using a Sigfox transmission compared to GPS using a GSM transmission. But then you have a Sigfox Atlas. Yes, Sigfox Atlas is not precise, and in some areas we have precision maybe 5 kilometers. And like the first answer is, this is useless. But if you think about use case that requires checking of a train, for example, that goes internationally between the countries, you do not need precision in meters. So if you would employ standard GPS with GSM solution, it would be super expensive, and it would require a super large battery or some connectivity to electricity. But if you employ Sigfox based positioning device using just Sigfox Atlas, which is not precise, but maybe it could be perfect for many use cases, for checking of parcels that are going between the cities. Maybe you do not need to know the precision in 100 meters, 500 meters. You don't care. You care in which city is the parcel now, and for this use case, it's perfectly sufficient. And then you have Wi-Fi positioning. We work with at least 5 different devices that already offer Wi-Fi positioning, and Wi-Fi enables you. In reality, we reach precision like 5 meters and even less. So it's super precise, but obviously, like every technology, it has pros and cons. So the cons here are that you have to be in proximity to some routers that have MAC addresses stored in here database or in Google database, so you can translate MAC addresses of the routers to latitude, longitude. So, but for indoor checking, it's perfect and it's very precise. Did I answer the question?
Completely. Yes, completely. And to build on what you just shared, Sigfox is dedicated to B2B use case, as you all know. So of course, we want to know when a parcel is leaving a factory, a country, or where is the container. And for that, you don't need a 1 meter precision, but again, if you need it, either you can integrate GPS, but with the consequences on the battery, or you can indeed use their like ear solution, the Wi-Fi. IP to help you to get a very good precision. And actually, if you are in an urban area where the densification is pretty high most of the time in base station, especially in Europe, the precision is easily 2 to 3 meters. We already find a scooter with a sensor in there. So it can be a really good precision. Of course, again, depending what you want to do. But the big asset and the big interest in this technology and what we do with Sigfox with the asset tracking, it's really about when something is missing or leaving a zone. So we don't actually matter so much regarding precision. We are not comparing at that level, but thank you for the question. Because you were talking about indoors, actually we have a question regarding the coverage. So I will read it, tell me if it's clear. I'm not 100% sure. So regarding the coverage, does the local Sigfox provider has a public data about density antenna? Is it more dense coverage equal better indoor or deep indoor usability? So just to answer on my level, if you go on Sigfox website, you go on the coverage tab, and you will see actually a very precise, up-to-date map regarding the coverage that we have today. What the operator are not going to share with you is the position of the antenna. We are not allowed to share where the antenna is based, but of course you can see the status of the densification regarding the area that is interesting for you. And regarding the indoor, what we have is the micro base station will help you to do the indoor densification. Exactly for instance, we saw a few weeks ago with Simple Hardware, they're doing coffee machine monitoring with the Simple Pack. It can be inside, but it will be, of course, inside buildings. So this is where the micro base station can be really helpful. After, if we have public data regarding the precise density, no, but you can contact your local operator if you need more about that. Would you like to add something regarding the indoor
Yes,
coverage, David?
just from our experience from the field, we see that there is no big difference between outdoor and indoor. There is a difference between indoor and deep indoor because yes, you have buildings built from metal and concrete or some materials. They just do not transmit the signal easily. And for these use cases, I suggest to check to check the option to use the micro base stations. So yeah, that's just my comment.
Thank you. We had a few questions from Vietnam. So we have a guest from Vietnam today with us. Thank you so much. What are the plans for Vietnam? Min actually sharing, she hopes that we're going to have Sigfox coming to Vietnam. So we hope so. As well, we have very strong operators all over Asia. So I'm sure they want to come to Vietnam as well. And you were asking as well how to get started with Sigfox. In the follow-up email, I'm going to share with you a direct link to the starter program and the education program. This is the best way to get started. And of course, you have the sigfox.com and build.sigfox.com, where you have a lot of resources, especially technical resources, and a get started tab. So super easy to go and to find all documentation, I hope. And of course, we, the Sigfox adoption team, and our partner like IoFrog are here also to help you if you have any question or if you want to start using IoFrog very soon. When Sigfox will be available, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And someone asked me your email address already, David, so I shared that in the private comment.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And your address will be, of course, shared with everyone in the follow-up email. We had another question regarding so the GPS. Let me see. What if the Sigfox network is not available everywhere in the country? Can we use a combination of Sigfox and GSM-based GPS? The answer is yes. And if you have something very specific on an area, you can contact your local operator that will help to develop a few base stations where actually you need them. So that's most of the time something that is actually really helpful for the operator to understand where the densification is needed if you have a right area in your country. Do you have any comment regarding the combination of Sigfox and GSM?
Yeah, just from my experience, definitely always try to contact your local Sigfox operator. We found this cooperation super helpful, especially if you have an interesting use case that you require more dense connectivity. I'm sure they will be motivated to help you. So do not hesitate to contact them.
We have another question regarding the IoT adoption you've mentioned. So the question is, when do you think IoT will begin its massive adoption? Because I think the technology spike is rather low, and in which vertical it will be the most adopted, in your point of view?
Okay, nice question. I think that mass adoption is starting right now. And we see, if you check Sigfox pages, you will see like there are like nice example of big companies that are like Michelin, DHL. They're adopting this technology already. So I believe that I really honestly believe that now is the right timing to jump in. But as I said at the beginning, openly, it really depends on the country. Like the situation in Europe, and yeah, Sigfox is mainly based started in Europe, in France. It's much more developed than in middle of Africa. That's true, right? So the question really depends on the country where you're from. You may have totally different perspective. But from global perspective, I believe that we are at the point that the massive implementation is starting. I also see personally on quotations that are asked, or on offers that are asked, on an RFI and RFPs projects that are involved. So we see that bigger and bigger companies are definitely considering IoT solution already. Even very conservative, like banks or grid management companies. They are typically not very technology advanced, let's say, or not advanced, but like using the latest technologies. Even they are considering already.
Yeah, and indeed, actually, it really depends regarding the scale and what kind of use case you're thinking of. So, of course, one big asset that we have with Sigfox, with the global network that we are deploying now, even if it's of course not all countries as much as covers and in France, but we are in a really good place, and we are the first and unique actually IoT global network now available. So when you think of use case with assets that are going to travel from country to country, it's going to be very specific. And as David said, if you are in South Africa, in Brazil, in US, in France, or in Japan, the use case will not be the same. So depending the region and depending if your use case is going to be global or not, of course, the opportunity can be varied. But for sure, the asset tracking, the monitoring are big everywhere right now. So if you are thinking of launching something with IoFrog, you can definitely go to that one. We have actually a question regarding the platform. Are you planning to add data analytics, machine learning, or AI capability to your platform? Do you think this could add value to the IoT solution?
Nice question again. Openly, we do not plan it now because they are like these analytical tools and how you use the data. I strongly believe that it depends on the particular use case, and there is no solution that is just too general enough that will easily, fast, and efficiently satisfy all different use cases. So this is why we build our platform openly. So we offer API access. So we are not locked with us. So we do all the parsing, connectivity management, device management, all this administration stuff. But then you are free to pull the data from our database to your very specific analytical tools that you are familiar with, that really suits your needs, because these tools are like super expensive and are super complex. And we don't have ambition to build our own.
Also, what we did in some use case with Sigfox, for instance, in France, when we did a project with PSA, we did a partnership with the integrator IBM that is working on the data analytics and the AI parts. So this is where it's also very useful, as IoFrog is an expert in the platform and help you to, as David demonstrate, like win a lot of time. If you want to add like some level into the data analysis you're doing, it's really good to go to see those integrator. And again, the local operator, based on previous use case and interconnection that they already made, can help you and can provide you good information and contacts regarding this, again, if you want to go fast. We have a last one more question for the platform. Can we do payload parsing in the platform, maybe to convert binary payload to decimal from any device type? Very precise question.
Yeah, there are different. I know there are platforms that you can do that. You can build your own scripts or write your own scripts and use different development tools to do that. We have chosen different way that doesn't offer to do a scripting. We with every manufacturer, we try to maintain the relationship with each of them and to design the parsing in the best possible way and to find the best visualization for the particular device. Think about our solution more like plug in and go and use it right now than as a development tool platform. I'm sure there are better platforms that in this area if you need this kind of approach. So short answer is no.
Okay. Thank you, David. We have a few more technical questions. I'm not going to dig in them because it's pretty specific and not directly related to the webinar about the micro with a thank you. So thanks, David. People are saying thank you. So it's about the micro, about the band energy that is using through the message. I invite everyone to go to build.sigfox.com. You're going to have the link in the follow-up email. You have a lot of information, and of course, don't hesitate to get back to me through the email or to the Slack community if you have any question about that. One last question is actually, it's interesting. Why did you choose with IoFrog to focus only on Sigfox devices for the platform?
I love that. We lost one battle with a different provider. I'm not gonna name it. And I was thinking, shouldn't we support more standards, or should we stick to Sigfox because we started with the Sigfox? And at this moment, I believe I'm fond of like this kind of blue ocean strategy, and I believe that there are so many possibilities on one platform now, and we try to be like the best in this area. And it's for us, it's better strategy than to really try to support all technical standards and integrations, because we believe that we didn't reach the peak in a one Sigfox world. So at this moment, we don't think that it's a good idea just to start with with something else. So for this reason, we decided to excel in Sigfox only, and up to now we do not regret it. So.
Which is good to know. Also, something to remind to everyone with Sigfox, we're really talking now about the 0G network. For us, the 0G, it's a new standard. So tomorrow we hope that there is more and more 0G compatible device, whatever the brand or how you call it. So of course it will bring more and more. So we're really pushing in that area as well. We have one last more question and we will let everyone go. It's about more, I think the operator, would we have to register with the local telecommunication company we're using the device? So again, this is a more macro question. So I think it's about when you have a device, in any case, you're going to have to activate it. And indeed, in your country, you're going to go to activate.sigfox.com just to give access, actually, to authorize the access from your device to the network. And this depending on your country. You would just select your country on the platform and you will be able to activate the device. I hope that was the last question, the answer that was needed. Again, if you have more question, more macro one or precise question to David, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you so much, David, for your time, for the presentation, and for the very detailed response to all the questions we had today. We're going to share with you in a few days the recording of this session on YouTube as always, and you're going to have the contact of David in the follow-up email I'm going to send in a few minutes to everyone, so don't hesitate to reach out to David and his team at IoFrog if you have any question. Thank you so much everyone to joining today, and see you hopefully soon. Thank you everyone.
Thank you for organizing it, and it was a pleasure on my side. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you.